Welcome, my non-existent viewers. This is TVB, and we're getting kind of close to the end of my top 9 week that I'm doing at the start of this lovely Spooktober with all the gaming themed list videos that I've been doing. This is gonna be like a follow-up to the video I made recently about my 9 favorite video game characters of all time. Like I said in that video, I didn't want to include any villainous characters on that list because I was already planning a separate list specifically for video game villains. And yeah, like I said, just like all these list videos I do on this channel, it's this is not an objective list. This is just based on my opinion from the games that I've played, and it's not really a ranked list either. These are just my 9 favorite gaming villains, because I don't really have a singular all-time favorite video game villain per se. But yeah, if you guys have your favorite gaming villain of all time, please let me know in the comments down below, and subscribe to this channel please, and all that good stuff. Yeah, kicking off this list is from the Super Smash Bros. Franchise, Master Hand. Oh my goodness, I remember being afraid of this villain as a kid. I would play Super Smash Bros. Melee with my sister, and I was afraid of him because he was this floating hand who does that laughing noise, and he does all these different hand themed attacks, when he kicks you with his fingers, or when he does his whole finger gun thing and his flying fist attack. And I mean, it was kind of a close call between Master Hand and Taboo from the Super Smash Bros. A story, the story mode in Brawl. Taboo was a super hard boss fight back then. I couldn't even finish that game. I had my friends finish it for me. That's how difficult Taboo was. But Master Hand is just more of a nostalgia thing because he appears in both Super Smash Bros. Melee and Brawl. And yeah, just a floating hand. I remember the boss music when Master Hand appears at the end of the classic challenge, and Brawl was just so epic. There was opera, there was guitar, there was just I felt like I was there. This was the fight of my life every time I did those challenges for Brawl back in the day. And yeah, like I said, I only really included one villain per franchise on this list, but since I included 3 characters in the Mario franchise on my my favorite characters of all time video, I decided to include 2 Far Cry villains in this video: Vaas Montenegro and Pagan Min. Now, I actually haven't played Far Cry 3. I've only watched Let's Plays for it, but holy cow. Vaas Montenegro, the voice actor just did such a fantastic job. This completely unhinged pirate on the Rook Islands. He was terrifying. The whole, did I ever tell you about the definition of insanity scene? I'm not joking. I watched that Let's Play, when I first started making gaming videos. I couldn't even sleep that night. And Pagan Min, I played the hell out of Far Cry 4 back in high school. And Pagan Min, he is crazy, he is unhinged like Vaas, but his more reserved approach about his madness is what makes him such a compelling villain to me, instead of just being some crazy ranting jerk like how Vaas is. He's very conniving, and he's also very polite and charismatic about his insanity. And he invites you to a dinner, and you have the option to just beat Far Cry 4 right there and then, because when a Pagan Min goes up to torture a Darpan, you have the choice to just sit there and wait 10-15 minutes or however it was, and he'll take you straight to Lakshmana's temple to scatter her ashes. To scatter Ajay's ashes right there. But yeah, Pagan Min, obviously if you choose to play the actual game, he's such a foreboding threat throughout the game, and all the different his minions and everything, and it's so satisfying when you have the option to just put a bullet in his head at the end of the game, or scatter your mom's ashes, then he flees in the helicopter. Yeah, I whipped out my buzzsaw and just mowed him down. But yeah. And like I said, when I did my favorite game characters of all time video, no list of most iconic video game characters is complete without Mario, but no list of iconic video game villains is complete without Bowser, the next choice on my list. Bowser, again, he's so infamous and so iconic, and I know they recycle the same storyline every Super Mario Bros. Game where Bowser kidnaps Princess Peach. I hear they've been trying to move away from that in more recent Mario games. Bowser just kidnaps Princess Peach, and Mario and Luigi and the Toads have to go this whole quest to rescue her. And Bowser, he's a huge mutant turtle thing that breathes fire. And I remember like playing Super Smash Bros. On the Wii, and when you beat Bowser for the first time, like he falls to the lava, but then the flying Koopa guy, whatever his name was, sprinkles the pixie dust all over the lava, and he reemerges as Giga Bowser, and oh my gosh, that was such an epic boss fight. And of course, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, like Jack Black as Bowser again. Jack Black, I know his career has fumbled quite a bit within the past few months with the whole Tenacious D controversy and the upcoming Minecraft movie, which looks like garbage. But yeah, like, still, Jack Black absolutely nailed it as Bowser in the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and I'm kind of ticked off that, like, that movie was nominated for 2 Golden Globes, but not any Oscars, with Bowser singing the Peaches song. Oh, that was hilarious. But yeah, but arguably not as hilarious as Jim Carrey playing Dr. Robotnik in the Sonic films, which is the next video game villain on this list. Again, these two kind of go hand in hand to how iconic they are. Dr. Robotnik, Dr. Eggman, this evil genius with all his robots. Again, close call between Dr. Robotnik and Shadow as my pick for, either one of my favorite, villains from the Sonic franchise, but Shadow treads the lines of being more of an anti-hero in some of the Sonic storylines, while Dr. Eggman, I'm very curious, because you guys saw this in the trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 3 coming out this December, that Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails have to team up with Dr. Eggman to take on Shadow. I'm very curious to see how these two former enemies go to allies when that film comes out. But yeah, Dr. Robotnik, you silly. Just look at his mustache and his bald head. His design is so lovably cartoonish, which kind of embraces the whole essence of the Sonic games. How Sonic has to use his super speed, take him down every time, and all his robots in his robot suits. Yeah. And I know I didn't include any Pokemon on my favorite video game characters list. But I did decide there is one, out of all there are some clear-cut villains in the Pokemon franchise, and I decided to, not include a legendary Pokemon necessarily, but I decided to include a Giovanni in this video, because there's this one, I remember when GameStop used to have, special events for, Pokemon players back in the Gen 4 and Gen 5 days. You could go to, GameStop when you were playing, Heart Gold or Soul Silver in the Gen 4 games, and you could get Celebi from GameStop and take Celebi to her shrine in that one Johto forest. Because Celebi, she's the Pokemon, it's the Pokemon that has time travel. You get to travel back in time and battle Giovanni in that forest. And I was like, this is so cool, because Giovanni was the leader of Team Rocket, in the Kanto days. Pokemon Red and Blue and Fire Red and Leaf Green. That was, again, epic boss fight. I know, I honestly, the best Pokemon boss fight in my opinion is still Cynthia in Pokemon Platinum. But again, Cynthia's not really a villain. She actually helps you a lot, throughout the storyline. Then you face her as the champion in the Elite Four, so she doesn't really qualify for the list. But Giovanni was such a close second as an epic boss fight in the Fire Red Leaf Green days, and that whole Heart Gold Soul Silver special event. And yeah, the main reason why King Dedede appears on this list. Again, a close call between King Dedede and Meta Knight for my two favorite villains from the Kirby franchise. But King Dedede, I've talked about this in these videos, his name is just so stupid, it makes me laugh. I don't know what sort of creature he is. He looks like a penguin, but then he floats like Kirby does. Is he a bird? And if yes, is he a pigeon? Is he a canary or a blue jay, or what is he? He's I remember when you would face a King Dedede in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, then they would be King Dedede! It's just, his name is literally just 3 D's. Dedede, 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 King Dedede! Anyways, my next favorite villain is Makarov from the Call of Duty Modern Warfare games. Makarov is interesting to me because he's so unlikable, he's so loathsome, but the reason why he makes it on my list is because part of what makes a compelling villain is how much the audience, or how much the gamer, in this case, wants to see his downfall. Because Makarov, all throughout the Modern Warfare games, he's just responsible for so much death and so much violence and so much atrocities. The super controversial No Russian scene from Modern Warfare 2, where you play as one of his soldiers and you just kill a bunch of innocent civilians at the airport. Yeah, that scene, this villain sparked a lot of controversy with parents. Do violent video games affect kids' behavior when they do stuff like this? But then again, it's just so satisfying. When I talked about this in my video when I put Captain Price on my list of favorite video game characters, the last mission in Modern Warfare 3 in the campaign is where you and Yuri are in those juggernaut suits with machine guns, and Makarov kills Yuri right in front of Captain Price, because again, Makarov, again, very satisfying when he dies. Makarov also kills Soap earlier in that game, which, saddest death in the entire franchise. And, like, and Price is like, you bastard! And then they go into it all, fist fight, and, like, Captain Price manages to tie a rope around his neck, and he hangs Captain Makarov right in, like, you know, they plummet through the glass ceiling, and, like, and hangs Makarov, and he's just dangling there, and Price just whips out a cigar and starts smoking it. Which, oh, man. Again, Captain Price, he's the boss. You don't mess with him. But yeah, and last, but definitely not least, one of my other favorite video game villains is Alduin from Skyrim. I will never forget the opening scene in Skyrim, where it's every Elder Scrolls game, you start as a prisoner, and you get a little taste of the Civil War and everything, and like you choose your race, and like Hadvar's like, Captain, what do we do? He's not on the list. Forget list. He goes to the block. It's so quotable, that opening scene. And then Alduin shows up right before you're about to get executed, and like unintentionally, of course, saves you, and you have the option to run away with either a Hadvar or or what's his face, a Ralof, you know, for the Stormcloaks. And yeah, like all throughout the main storyline from Skyrim, it's like Alduin, he's just this foreboding threat, like the harbinger of the end times, and like his design is just so menacing. This huge dark dragon with the horns. I have a little Alduin pop head figure sitting at my dad's house, and if you know, because I've been through dog daycares and zoo internships. I finally got a job at a zoo this year, and there is a Komodo dragon at the Columbus Zoo. I'm just thinking out loud, if I'm ever a reptile keeper at a zoo, and if I ever get to like vote for the name of a baby Komodo dragon, I'm putting either Alduin or Smaug on the list, or Toothless. Any like iconic video game dragon would be an excellent name for a Komodo dragon. Alright, there you guys have it. Those are my 9 favorite video game villains of all time. And do you guys agree with my picks? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what your favorite video game villain of all time is too. And yeah, stay tuned. Again, there's not much left of this mini series of top, these list videos. So and I got a lot of other videos planned coming right soon. Again, thanks again for the 2,000 subscribers, and have a good night. Stay beastly.